Our Wisdom Walks principle for today is this: faith overcomes fear. Last year, my son was playing in a lacrosse tournament where the game ended in a tie. Now, normally, overtime applies, but at this particular tournament, each team sent just 2 players out onto the field. They put their goalie in the net and had their best player head out to the center of the field for a face-off. It was a quick way to determine a winner. Now, this type of tiebreaker is called Braveheart. It's sudden death. The first one to score wins. And a couple of the boys immediately told the coach they wanted to be the one on the field. They wanted it there with the game on the line. No question, these young men had brave hearts. They were fearless, or at least their courage helped them overcome their fear. Now, the boys battled and the game was over in less than 30 seconds. On the field, when an athlete plays without fear, they play at their best. In life, we do the same thing. We tighten up. And when we're afraid to make mistakes, we make mistakes.
Do we live our lives with a brave heart? Are we fearless, or do we shrink back? Are we confident by living what God pleases, or are we more concerned about people and what they think about our faith? We will share God's truth with our neighbors. Will we do that? Will we encourage friends to seek God and His wisdom with the problems they face? We will become overcomers as long as God's truth is revealed in our beliefs. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Fear defeats more people than any other one thing in the world."
You know, and we all share a common fear. It's called the fear of failure. And many of us are afraid of being rejected as well. Most of us don't feel qualified to speak into anyone else's life because, after all, who are we? We don't have it all together. So we stay quiet enough even though God is nudging us to get in the game and make a play. What if I asked you to answer this question? If you could do something really important in life, but knew that failure and embarrassment were very real possibilities, what would you do? Now, answering that takes courage, it takes risk, and it takes faith. But fear prevents us from doing the difficult things that God asks us to do. It prevents us from taking risks unless we are willing to let faith overcome fear.
Do we see our challenges, or do we see God's capabilities? The Bible is packed full of stories of faith overcoming fear. And God regularly puts us in situations where we are in way over our head and we have to depend on Him. He wants us to grow in our faith and overcome our fear. In 1 Samuel 17, David, who just was a teenager, faced Goliath with the entire army of God looked on from the sidelines. Reminds me of the Braveheart thing. His faith overcame the nation's fear. Then we see in Judges 6, God grew Gideon's faith by reducing the army from 32,000 only down to a few, 300, to fight the enemy that numbered over 100,000. The faith of the nations was strengthened. In Numbers 13, we also see another great example of Caleb, who was just one of only 12 spies who told Moses that they could possess the land. He wanted the ball.
That's right, and in Joshua 1:9 it says this: "Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? Don't be terrified, don't be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." So no matter what challenge you're facing today, have a brave heart. Take a risk. Attempt something important for God. Ask for the ball. God is with you wherever you go. And remember, be a wisdom walker. Faith overcomes fear.